So what happened today? The haunted house gave you the day off?
And shouldn't you be down at the cathedral ringing some bells, Quasimodo?
Nikki said she's sick and tired of you being married and with kids and all. And James be treating her nice and nasty.
I'm always the wife, right, Jesse? Well, what? You do want me to be your wife, don't you?
Hollywood has a long history of being charmed by talented youngsters. From prodigies stealing hearts on screen to singers topping the charts, these Black child stars achieved success at an age when most of us were just learning our multiplication tables. But the bright lights and constant pressure don't always guarantee a smooth ride into adulthood. Many talented young performers choose to step away from the spotlight, pursue different passions, or simply take a well-deserved break. So, who are some of these fascinating former stars who traded Hollywood for a different path? Let's delve into the stories of those who carved their unique journeys, proving that success can come in many forms.
Big Mama wanted me to get everyone together for a Sunday dinner, but I didn't know how to do that.
Brandon Hammond. Brandon is a former child actor who caught the admiration of TV viewers with his impeccable acting style and several other TV roles. But Brandon wasn't just a movie star. He rocked it on TV too. You might remember him from shows like Dr. Quinn Medicine Woman or The Gregory Hines Show.
I don't think he's going to be coming around much anymore.
What happened?
It's complicated.
Oh, so it's your fault.
Where his acting skills snagged him another award, a Young Artist Award. This kid was seriously talented. And get this, acting wasn't all Brandon had going for him. His mom, Alpharetta Williams, was his biggest cheerleader and even helped him manage his career. He started acting super young at just 6 years old and even appeared in commercials for big brands. Remember the little kid who played the younger version of the main character in Menace to Society? That was Brandon too.
You see, I kind of alluded to a little bit. My mother, she passed away from cancer, colon cancer. She was young, man, it's tough. You know, my mom was my best friend. She was, anybody that knows me and growing up, you know, in the industry, my mom was right there. And what's amazing about her, man, she kind of like, she pushed back on the, I don't know if you heard of the momager reputation, right? Mm-hmm. You know, the mom that's on set, difficult to work with. That was not my mother, man. She was just the complete opposite.
Even though he's not a huge celebrity anymore, Brandon's creativity didn't disappear. After acting, he went to college and wrote a student film that got nominated at a film festival. He's also written screenplays that have won awards. So even though he's not on TV every night, Brandon's still making his mark in the entertainment world as a writer and director.
Come on, let's go inside.
Just one more shot?
All right. Just one.
Hammond's last acting role to date was as Lloyd Newman in the 2002 Showtime film, Our America.
What happened? Someone bust you around again?
Had a seizure.
I'm talking with my father, Edward Simpson. Everyone calls him Stick.
He got his third Young Artist Award for his role in this movie. After his acting career ended, Hammond attended Saddleback College, where he wrote and submitted a student film titled Summer Bling. Although he's no longer a major TV sensation, Brandon is still a writer and director to date and is working on different projects. His current net worth is estimated at $500,000. His film was nominated at the Newport Beach Film Festival. He also wrote the short film Amaru, which received the award for Best Screenwriting at the John Singleton Short Film Competition in 2020. While Brandon smoothly transitioned from acting to writing and directing,
And then this fast baby hoochie mama came around trying to steal my man. I'ma play that.
Ashley Amari Adams took a different yet equally impressive path. While we will no longer see her, we can't forget her impressive acting in Robert Townsend's classic, The Parenthood. The show was a fond memory for many Black kids and was a major part of the childhood of kids.
I remember my daddy Robert picked me up and took me outside, told me, he was like, I just want you to look up at the sky and I just want you to remember that you cannot control other people. You can't control how they behave. You can't control the choices that they make.
She popped up in shows like Girlfriends too, before deciding to take a break from acting and focus on school. Smart girl. She went to Cal Arts after high school and got a degree in theater. It sounds like she was prepping for even bigger things behind the screen.
And we've decided to do the Target Challenge.
Since her graduation, she has been in several other shows and is gradually making her way back to the movie industry. With all that elbow grease, it comes as no surprise that her net worth is estimated to be around $400,000.
Excuse me.
while I kiss the sky.
Just as Ashley found her way back to the industry, George O. Gore II found new ways to stay connected to his passion. The name might not ring a bell now, but back in the day, the guy was a fixture on our screens. He started young, snagging a role in the movie Juice at the ripe old age of 7.
Why, don't you like Bishop anymore?
Why you ask so many questions, man?
Because I like Bishop.
Why?
Because he's cool.
Acting seemed like his natural calling. He landed the part of Gregory G. Williams on the gritty crime drama New York Undercover just a couple of years later. The show was huge, and young George was racking up award nominations left and right for his performance. He even dabbled in horror with a small role in The Devil's Advocate.
Well, as a child, the hardest part was trying to balance that with just being a kid. You know, I still went to regular school until I started doing TV shows where I had to have a tutor on set. But all the traveling, you know, I would go to New York, I would return back to Maryland at, 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. Then I would wake up and go to school the next day.
But things started to shift when he landed the role of Michael Cal Jr., or Junior, on the sitcom My Wife and Kids. This was a whole different world for George. All laughs and wacky situations compared to the dramas he was used to. He even admitted it took some adjusting. Still, he nailed the role for 5 seasons, even scoring another NAACP Image Award nomination along the way.
Kleiner, wer bin ich, hä? Sag schon, wer bin ich, hä? Was hast du gesagt?
Here's the interesting part, though. After My Wife and Kids wrap, George kinda stepped away from the spotlight. Sure, he did a couple of guest spots on other shows and even played a funny fictionalized version of himself in a comedy called Second Generation Weigh-Ins. But the acting hustle just wasn't his main squeeze anymore.
Thankful for it because it means people love the show and people love what I did. But I'm a quiet guy. I like just being behind the scenes. I like being creative. I've always gravitated to creative people. And I just love being able just to wake up every day and just make up something from scratch.
It seems George's interests were taking him behind the scenes. Remember that episode of My Wife and Kids where LeBron James guest starred? Turns out, George directed that one. He even co-wrote the screenplay for a movie called Sneakerella, a modern twist on the classic Cinderella story. Directing was becoming his go-to thing, and even today, he chooses to put in the effort behind the screen because he likes to engage with the creative aspect of storytelling, as he puts it.
Couldn't I just challenge Terry to a spelling bee?
From acting to directing, George's journey mirrors that of Jeffrey Wood, who charmed audiences on the 90s sitcom In the House. Back then, he seemed destined for A-list stardom. He started young, appearing in commercials at the age of 5. But acting wasn't just some childhood hobby. He even landed a role on Broadway in an award-winning revival of Carousel. Landing the role of Austin Warren on In the House alongside LL Cool J and Debbie Allen must have felt like he hit the jackpot.
Can you guess what I am?
A tumor?
Mom, the costume is not working.
He was a regular for the show's first 2 seasons, hanging out with music royalty and soaking in the Hollywood spotlight. But sometimes things take an unexpected turn. When the show moved networks, creative changes pushed Jeffrey out, leaving him to navigate the fickle world of Hollywood. Sure, he continued to act, popping up in shows like New York Undercover and Sunset Beach. But acting wasn't the only creative outlet calling his name. In his teens, he transitioned into the world of hip-hop under the name J-Dub. He even released a couple of mixtapes showcasing his lyrical talents. It seems the kid who charmed us on TV had a whole other creative side waiting to be explored. He wasn't just a performer. He had an entrepreneurial streak, too. He created RapRise.com, a platform dedicated to promoting unsigned hip-hop artists. Talk about giving back and fostering the next generation of talent. So, needless to say, he's been doing relatively well off the small screen, and his present net worth is estimated to be around $800,000. I guess being an entrepreneur has its perks, and if that wasn't enough, he even started his own film production company, Puzzle Man X.
Don't you think you're a little too old to be playing with dolls, Dee Dee?
Transitioning from acting to music seems to be a reoccurring theme, much like Arthur Reggie III. Remember Alfie from the awesome Nickelodeon show, My Brother and Me?
I'm down with Space Out, the coolest, dopest, flyest sports shoe and the entire youth.
That was Arthur Reggie III. The show might have been short-lived, but it was a game changer. The first Nick show with a ton of black actors, and the stories were relatable. Even though it only ran for one season in 1995, reruns kept us laughing until 2000. Arthur went on to pursue a music career and recorded several tracks and made some shows as well. Music is still his major focus, and there's good money in the industry. His bank balance is approximately $300,000, which is a whole lot more than he made from his acting gigs. He goes by the name of Show Business and has quite some mixtapes on iTunes. You can check them out.
Your inner self.
Similarly, Kenny Michael, known to many as Kenny Blank, transitioned from child actor to multifaceted artist. He wasn't just another cute face on TV. This dude was multi-talented from the get-go. Born into a musical family, his mom danced for James Brown, no less. Kenny was tickling the ivories by the age of 6 and even making his short films.
Analog instruments, they had, organ, piano, drums, bass, guitar, and it was basically about, you get the tape on the 2-inch machine, and as long as I didn't rewind it off of the reel, as long as I didn't go back before which was at a five-year-old, that was the scariest thing in the world because those machines were huge. It's gonna break, it's gonna break. So that was my biggest fear at 5 was rewinding back too far on the tape.
But what were you even trying to do musically?
It would just be like I hit record and I'd get on an instrument and I'd start playing something and I'd go back and I'd overdub and do something else.
His big break came with the role of Tito in the movie The Super alongside Joe Pesci.
What are you doing here?
Nothing.
What do you mean nothing?
What else does it mean? Nothing.
This landed him a Young Artist Award nomination, proving he was a force to be reckoned with on the screen.
For the audience, normally when you're shooting that kind of like multi-camera sitcom, the audience and all that kind of stuff, you start at a 5-day week, right? You come in on Monday, you do your table read, you rehearse Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, you do some pre-taping, and then Friday you tape in front of the audience.
While some child stars fizzled out, Kenny kept the momentum going. He landed a series role on the sitcom Tall Hopes, showcasing his comedic chops.
Well, since this is a school night, how you gonna get Ma to let you out? You gonna beg or just flat out lie?
Though the show itself wasn't a hit, critics were impressed with Kenny's performance. Then came the Parenthood. Kenny stole the show as Michael Peterson.
When did we decide on that?
When the record producer said to add the female singer to the band.
But his talents extended beyond acting. He even composed music for the series. But Kenny wasn't content to just be in front of the camera. Since the late 90s, he's been filmmaking behind the scenes too. He directed short films, including the theme song for Mystery Men, and even helmed the TV movie in 2019. Oh, and did I mention he's a voice acting pro? He's been the voice behind characters in shows like As Told by Ginger and video games like the Saints Row series. Seriously, is there anything Kenny Blank can't do? No wonder the guy's a millionaire.
If you guys got stuff to do on Saturday night, go ahead. I'll take care of myself. Okay, cool.
Maestro Harel, like Kenny, exemplifies the transition from acting to music and more. Born in Chicago, Maestro wasn't just another child star. He was a musical prodigy, racking up awards for his talents before he even hit his teens. By age 7, he was already a regular on shows like The Tonight Show with Jay Leno.
It means teacher, but I am going to change it to superstar like Prince changed his name to the artist.
Oh, I see. Because Maestro, isn't that someone who conducts the orchestra?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So like teacher, well, that works.
Yes, sir.
Now you're 5 years old.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. What grade? Are you in school yet?
Yes, sir. I'm in kindergarten.
He wasn't afraid to jump onto the big screen either. His first movie role was no small feat, portraying a young Cassius Clay, later known as Muhammad Ali, alongside Will Smith. From there, he went on to appear in films like Barbershop and The Promotion, showcasing his versatility as an actor.
No, they didn't care. Even with my deal for The Wire, it was, once they knew they wanted me and stuff, my dad went through hell trying to get that deal done because we hired the attorney we used for my first TV show and everything else.
But Maestro wasn't just acting. Remember that iconic theme song for Disney's The Lion King? Yep, that powerful young Simba voice belonged to Maestro too. In 2011, he dipped his toes into music production, and by 2014, he was officially a DJ and a producer with a capital D and P.
Know a nigga eating good, yo. Talk ain't cheap when the price is steep.
His music career took off with a progressive house track called For You, a collaboration that garnered him a lot of attention in the EDM scene. And since then, he has taken off in that niche too. With that level of success, it comes as no surprise that his net worth is around $600,000. Most recently, he released a string of successful tracks, each showcasing his unique style and production skills.
This is my fight.
Okay. What, nigga?
Imagine a 10-year-old walking into an audition room, ready to tackle a role far heavier than his years. That 10-year-old was Shawn Nelson, and the role that launched him into the spotlight was the unforgettable lead in the powerful film, Fresh.
I had been acting since I was 10 professionally, got into acting when I was young just because I used to sing when I was when I was a kid. In kindergarten, I was singing.
Fresh wasn't just a breakout role for Nelson, it was an award-winning one. He snagged a Sundance Film Festival award and became the very first recipient of the Independent Spirit Award for Best Breakthrough Performance. Not bad for a kid who just a few years earlier was following his mom's suggestion to take acting classes. Nelson's career didn't fizzle out after that initial success. He continued to act throughout the 90s, showcasing his versatility in films like American Buffalo, alongside actors like Dennis Franz and Dustin Hoffman.
Got a suitcase, gets in the car, and he drives away. What was the word? Stop, traveling clothes.
He even reprised his American Buffalo role for a stage production later on, proving his talent wasn't confined to the silver screen. He's had a stable career and made sure to never really sever his ties to Hollywood, though he seldom acts.
You know, they're just trying to please you. And I feel like I've seen a lot of that where, like, this kid don't want to be here. Just like, oh, got to do what my parents said.
With recent guest appearances on shows like Elementary and Blue Bloods, but for the most part, he's taken a back seat on the silver screen. Still, his $500,000 net worth is a testament to a successful career, even though it might not have the longevity one expects from such a position.
Are you black? Half? Well, you a nigga. No motherfucking half shit.
From dramatic leads to comedic genius, Joe Torre is a powerhouse comedian who built his career on raw, unfiltered humor.
Please give it up for Joe Torre.
What's up?
But Def Comedy Jam was just the beginning. Torre took his comedic talents to the big screen, starring in films like House Party and Poetic Justice. He even showed his dramatic chops in projects like ER and NCIS. Whether it was making us laugh or tugging at our heartstrings, Torre proved his versatility as a performer.
You need to get the intercom fixed.
Torre's ambition didn't stop there. He took a leap of faith and created his reality show, Joe Torre Remixed. This wasn't your typical celebrity fare. It was a duality, offering a glimpse into Torre's life, the highs and the lows, the struggles and triumphs. Joe Torre is more than just a comedian. He's a force of nature, a quick-witted performer who has carved his path in the entertainment industry. He's a dedicated mentor, a philanthropist, and a man who inspires laughter and action in equal measure.